Listen Canadian, Canucks hockey on Sportsnet.
The Vancouver Canucks are at the start of a 4-game homestand. The Sabres in the midst of the longest road trip in franchise history. The two go head-to-head next on the net. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to GM Place. My name is Dan Murphy. If you think this October feels a little bit like last October as far as the Canucks are concerned, you're right. With a record of 2-2-1 thus far, the Canucks are not exactly off to a blazing start. Much like last year, after 5 games in 0-2, the Canucks, 2-2-1, in fact, finished the month of October 1 game below 500. How about the power play? At this time last year, the Canucks were struggling through an 0-25 drought. The other night, Henrik Sedin's power play goal late in the third against Minnesota broke an 0-25 streak. The good news for Vancouver, they've got 6 games left in the month to pick it up. On a positive note has been team defense. Vancouver, awesome in their own end. They've only given up 9 goals in 5 games, and the team is a combined plus 30. Unbelievable for a 500 club. Only 2 minus players on the entire roster, so it stands to reason if the Canucks can pick up their special teams play, they'll get a few more check marks in the win column. For their thoughts on tonight's game, let's go across the way to Jim Houston and John Garrett. Guys?
Well, Dan, a painful reality set in on this last road trip for Vancouver. If not for the team, certainly for their fans, that they weren't going to go unbeaten this season, and that being a championship team is going to be tough. But you'll pardon people for getting excited because their first homestand was great.
7-1, they outscored Edmonton and Calgary and made it look easy. They played with confidence. They played with that swagger that you have to play with at home. Then they go on the road. Key times in the games, they were taking bad penalties and then letting in bad goals, and you can't do that. Detroit, they should have had at least a point. 38 shots on Dominik Hasek, a game they played well enough to win, but they didn't win. And Jim, the elite teams last year, why did Colorado win the division? Because Colorado only had 9 home losses. Detroit only had 6 home losses. And Dallas only had 9 home losses. You have to be dominant at home, especially in the Western Conference.
And when you are, you can afford an 0-2-1 road trip occasionally. Well, the best news from the road trip, perhaps, for the Vancouver Canucks was that their captain scored. Marcus Naslund had a couple of goals, and they were beauties.
A pure goal scorer, probably the best pure goal scorer in the National Hockey League today. Marcus Naslund has the patience, the poise, and the hands to score goals like he did in Minnesota, and I think that's why the Canucks will never go into a long losing streak, because they have Naslund, Bertuzzi, Olin, and Jovanovski. The key guys just won't let that happen.
You know, it probably won't take too many of those to win a game tonight. The Buffalo Sabres don't score much. They're a great defensive team. Figures to be a low-scoring defensive struggle. Buffalo and Vancouver coming up on Rogers Sportsnet Pacific. Welcome back to General Motors Place, everyone. The Vancouver Canucks tonight start a 4-game homestand against their 1970 expansion cousins from Buffalo. It's the Sabres and the Canucks next. Let's meet the starting goaltenders, brought to you by Tim Hortons. 6 strips of mouth-watering bacon, crisp lettuce, and ripe tomatoes in Tim Hortons' new home-style BLT. Mika Norton, look at those numbers. 1 start, a 20-shot shutout in Calgary on Saturday, and Dan Cloutier's last game was a tight loss in Detroit on Thursday. Denny Leroux in your picture is the senior referee here, working with Blaine Angus, Brad Lazarowicz, and Derek Nenson. We'll work the lines. There's Mark Crawford, who will send out Trevor Linden, Magnus Arvidsson, and Matt Cook. It's become a checking line. He didn't used to match forward lines very much, but he might with this line, playing against Chris Drury, Taylor Pyatt, and Alesh Kotelik, who's a very skilled winger playing with Drury. And the checking line goes to the attack right away for the Vancouver Canucks. Brent Sopel and Matthias Olin, the top defensive pair on the ice. Here's Sopel with some room to the front of the net, and Arvidsson couldn't tip it in, looking for his first as a Vancouver Canuck. Magnus Arvidsson bumped hard in the corner. Trevor Linden got the puck to Sopel again. This time his shot is blocked before it got through to the net. Sopel holds the puck in. Arvidsson shot Noren stops that. Great pressure here from Vancouver's Trevor Linden line on the first shift of the game, and now they'll change and try and keep the pressure on, and on come the big boys. Marcus Naslund is on the ice. Brendan Morrison and Todd Bertuzzi have now joined him, and Buffalo's trying desperately to change as Kotelik gets the puck deep. And indeed, they make a change here.
Buffalo did a good job not getting too many men on the ice. That pass came right across in front of their bench, and good patience on the bench.
Jovanovski to Bertuzzi on his off wing. A centering pass caused no problem for Buffalo in front of the net. And again, the Canucks keep the Sabres from getting out. Noren up the boards. Morrison is there for Vancouver. Bertuzzi with Naslund in the slot, now moving to the boards to get the puck, and the point men are open. Jovanovski heads for the front of the net. This looks like a power play early in the game. Bertuzzi to Marek Malik at the blue line. A cross-ice pass to Jovanovski. Another cross-ice pass went right through the blue, and Bertuzzi lost the puck in his skates. Now tries to recover and keep the puck in against Jay McKee. Finally to center, Chris Taylor dumps the puck in. And the play is stopped on a two-line pass.
Mats Lindgren, successful surgery on a disc problem in his back, and the shuffling continues for Mark Crawford. They're not going to replace the roster spot with two extra guys around, and otherwise very healthy, the Vancouver Canucks.
Leaves them a little bit of wiggle room if they want to call somebody up from the Manitoba Moose, and there's a few players that are playing extremely well, although that's the least of their concerns right now. It's calling anybody up as the puck leaves the playing surface for another stop in play. Lindy Ruff of the Buffalo Sabres on the longest road trip in the history of the franchise, and there's a look at some scratches, most notably Jochen Hecht and Tim Connolly.
I laugh out loud when they talk about the longest road trip, 12 days, Jim. 12 days, we used to have with the Canucks 19-day trips. It was a common thing. You'd swing east and you'd play everybody, and
17 games in 19 days.
That's right.
Skating uphill both ways.
Yes.
Eastern teams don't know what long road trips are. Daniel Briere, diminutive creative center number 48, playing on a forward line with Miro Shatan, the Sabres captain, and J.P. Dumont. This should be a skilled line, but Buffalo has barely touched the puck in the early going of this game. Brad May with Artem Chubarov gets the puck in deep. Mika Norinen, 24-year-old Finnish goaltender, cleared it to center, and Vancouver comes right back in. There's Jason King trying to get in on the left wing boards. Briere gets a hold of the puck. Brian Campbell, young defenseman, up the boards. Daniel Sedin couldn't hold it in, but Jovanovski does at the blue line. Here's Henrik for Daniel, just out of his reach, and again the Canucks put on early pressure here, keeping the puck in the Buffalo zone. Henrik Sedin, Daniel's one-timer is blocked by Briere, then his pass hit his skate. Jason King's shot is blocked. Daniel couldn't get a shot away in traffic. King to Henrik Sedin. Daniel heads for the front of the net. The pass hit the side of the goal. King's backhander. Great save by Norinen on Jason King, and Rory Fitzpatrick clears the puck, and the rink is tilted in Vancouver's favor early.
Well, it's unbelievable how the Vancouver Canucks have been able to hem in the Buffalo Sabres. The Sabres bad clearing in their own zone. If you're in trouble, you make sure that it goes out, and the Sabres did not make sure. Daniel Sedin, Henrik Sedin, both made a couple of good plays in front, and then Mika Norinen has to come up and make a good save.
Off the face-off, Marcus Naslund gets the puck from Todd Bertuzzi. Morrison's in front. Naslund took a shot. It hit the side of the net. Bertuzzi for Naslund. He's double-teamed. Taylor Pyatt moves the puck to Adam Mayer, and they'll get out to center. Here's Curtis Brown, a checking center. Mayer centering pass right in front of the net. And a great chance there for Buffalo, but they didn't get a shot. Taylor Pyatt keeps the puck in. A shot by Mayer went off a skate in front of the net. Finally, the Sabres play in the Vancouver end of the rink. Not for long, though. Here comes Sammy Salo. Naslund to Bertuzzi. Slager was coming up late. A pass is intercepted, and Mayer took a bump from Morrison as he cleared the puck down the ice, and this will be another icing call against the Buffalo Sabres. 3 minutes and 52 seconds in.
The Vancouver Canucks last week went on a road trip where they had too many days off in between, and the Buffalo Sabres talk about this 12-day road trip. It's not as bad that way, because when you do go out on the road, you want to play. You want to play 3 games in 4 nights. You want to get it over with. And the Sabres, as you said, Jim, not a real deep team. And I think when you go on the road, that's one thing. You have to share the ice time, and the Sabres really don't have the talent to do that.
Canucks won the faceoff here. Matthias Olin down along the boards, gets away from a Finnegan off. Matt Cook with Arvidsson and Trevor Linden back on the ice. They got it started. Olin has some room, takes a shot just wide of the net. Arvidsson was there in front of the goal again, working against Jay McKee, and Drury clears the puck. They're employing the Pat Burns breakout tonight. Off the glass and down the ice. It's their only choice. Here's Dan.
Thanks, Jim. Don't forget to play Safeway's $1 million score and win if any Canucks player scores 5 goals tonight. Jan Beardsley of Ladysmith could win $1 million. Shop and swipe at Safeway for your chance to win.
Now, the danger against a team like this, John, is you better get something out of all these offensive forays early, or you may be in trouble later on. It might be a 1-0 game.
Well, they're so good at protecting a lead, as they proved Saturday in Calgary. They only gave Calgary about 3 good scoring chances all night long.
And only 2 shots here with all of this action for almost 5 minutes in the attacking zone for Vancouver. Watch folks in front of the net when the puck gets there. How many Sabres are in front of the goaltender, Mika Norrinen? They'll collapse 5 skaters right to the front of the net. Henrik Sedin, King's in front. Daniels looking for open ice, and there isn't much out front. A defenseman comes in. Jovanovski couldn't get the puck. And you see right at the top of the slot, Miro Shatan was there and drifts a long shot as he finally breaks out. Daniel Sedin is back. Marek Malik to start a breakout for Vancouver. Right up the middle on a Buffalo change. Jason King to Daniel Sedin. He shoots, he scores! Great goal. Daniel Sedin makes it 1-0 Vancouver.
And it's a long breakout pass that sets this goal up for Daniel Sedin. And Kalinin is the only defenseman back. And Daniel Sedin pulls it to the middle. Look at this pass by Marek Malik. Tape to Jason King to Daniel Sedin. And he uses Kalinin as a screen. And Mika Norrinen is back in the blue paint. Kalinin challenges, but it's too late. And Sedin just inside the post. What a great shot.
Daniels first from King and Malik at 4:55.
You're right, Jim. They talk about don't throw it up the middle, but when you see the other team changing, there's lots of room, and Marek Malik saw that, fired the long lead pass, and set up the goal.
So the great early pressure pays off, but a goal off the rush. There's an oddity in the NHL these days, John. A goal off the rush. Daniel Briere, J.P. Dumont faked the shot, then he was checked by Sami Salo. And there's going to be a Vancouver penalty. There's Salo, who's without his stick. He checked Dumont, and now he's going to get a penalty for taking him down afterwards.
Little can opener by Salo. He lets the stick go, but he did put it right between the legs, give it a little twist. The Brian McCabe move. And Sami Salo's in the penalty box for tripping.
So Buffalo on a power play here to try and tie things up. Chris Drury's out, J.P. Dumont, Miro Shatan. Daniel Briere moves back to the left or to the right point. The very gifted Andy Delmore looking for his first point on the left point. He's led all NHL defensemen in scoring on the power play over the last 2 years, picked up from Nashville, and they hope that he'll get 16 to 20 on the point here. We have a winner on our Safeway Score and Win contest. On behalf of Score and Win and Craft Dinner, Jeannie Chang of Burnaby's won an 18-volt cordless 4-tool pack from Skill. Congratulations.
They say Andy Delmore's really having trouble adapting to this power play, and we saw it on that rush. Got to the blue line, couldn't decide whether to shoot it in or carry it in. Ended up carrying and put everybody offside, and that's one of the things when you come from a different organization, you have to get used to the power play system, and Delmore's having problems.
Buffalo's got 7 defensemen dressed in this game tonight, so they can mix and match some forward lines and perhaps use Delmore almost exclusively as a power play specialist. Matt Cook for the penalty killers gets the puck in deep, and this will work the clock nicely. Knocks the puck loose for Brendan Morrison, and he'll play it back to center and rag the puck. 40 seconds have gone by in the Salo penalty. Penalty killers change up. Delmore slowly, no sense of urgency here at all on the power play. Now he starts out. Daniel Briere, Dumont's with him at the blue line, so is Drury. He runs into trouble and just advances the puck. Oland is there. Dumont trying to knock him off the puck. Trevor Linden helps up and gets the puck back and out to center. Up the ladder goes Arvidsson to knock it down. Excellent penalty killing here with 50 seconds to go in the minor penalty, but now some room. Here comes Miro Shatan, centering pass. Dumont had to knock it down with his shin guards. He's got Drury in front of the net. Dumont, give and go, but Shatan lost the puck to Brent Sopel. Dumont checks in. Briere comes in. Good stick there by Marek Malik, and he's all over Miro Shatan. J.P. Dumont digs the puck loose. Drury's out in front. Dumont's down, knocked further towards the ice, and in comes Drury to get a hold of the puck. Sopel knocked it loose. Daniel Briere, point to point. Delmore, Dumont, looking up outside the box, fakes the shot, then lost the puck, and it's cleared down the ice with 10 seconds to go in the penalty. Sammy Salo standing, set to come back on. Vancouver leads 1-0, and now they're back at full and even strength. Delmore carries the puck in. Brown's shot hit the post. Curtis Brown just at the end of the penalty hit the post, or it's 1-1. Jovanovski. Stretch pass up the middle, missed Naslund. This will be an icing call against the Vancouver Canucks. So a great goal by Daniel Sedin, and then a swollen goal post against Curtis Brown. It's still 1-0 Canucks.
The first period is brought to you by General Motors and all its divisions. Visit us at gmcanada.com.
Vancouver leads 1-0. Sixth consecutive game to start the season that Vancouver has scored the first goal of the contest. And they've looked very sharp in the early going, and Dan Kluche's had help from the pipe behind him. Marcus Naslund in his own zone couldn't get the puck out. Salo playing with Yuri Slager tonight. Off the glass and out to center. Naslund rink wide. Bertuzzi with some room. Slager's coming up with him. Now he's covered. Curtis Brown, the checking center, playing against the Naslund line when he can. Moved the puck around on the boards. And Alexei Zhitnik, a good heads-up player, got out of the way of the 44 train just in the nick of time. Morrison to Bertuzzi. Zhitnik came back at him. Little bump. And that's all it amounted to. Jay McKee. Maxim Afinoganov has great wheels. He looks like Pavel Bure a lot of the time. Into the middle. McKee was there, but he couldn't take the puck. And the Canucks come back out to center. Matt Cook's all alone. Linden couldn't get him the puck, and the play went offside.
Alexei Zhitnik sees Todd Bertuzzi at the last minute. Zhitnik very mobile, just saw him coming, stepped out of the way, and then had a pretty good hit on Todd Bertuzzi. Zhitnik weighs about 220. He looks small when he's standing beside Todd Bertuzzi.
Slow motion, it didn't look as dangerous at all.
No,
It looked
no.
like he saw it coming all the way. Sabres have loaded up a line here with Alesh Kotelik, Max Afinoganov, and Chris Drury. There's some real skill on this line, and the Sabres do have some very good, young, skilled players. They hope that somewhere in this mix they find a Marcus Naslund from Kotelik or Afinoganov, Drury.
Their system doesn't lead to high-scoring games or a good offense. They played 5 games, 4 of them they've had less than 20 shots on goal. So when you do get a good chance, you have to make it count. And Curtis Brown, that shot off the post, Buffalo doesn't get a whole lot of chances like that. So when you do get one, you better make sure it counts.
They've had one chance. That was it. Off the draw, Henrik got the puck back, and then he got the tip that went wide of the net. He's with Daniel Sedin and Jason King. Here's King at the side of the net. Daniel's out in the slot. Malik and Jovanovski, the point men. Daniel Sedin cleared away, and out comes Daniel Briere. He's got Campbell, the defenseman, jumping up with him. J.P. Dumont goes after the shoot-in. Jovanovski got back. Briere couldn't stop the puck along the boards, and Merrick Malik can't clear it. Dumont kept it in. Daniel Briere. Fitzpatrick went to the front of the net. In behind him now, Jovanovski to his partner Merrick Malik with some room to wheel out of his own zone. His mates go on a change now, so he does the wise thing. He gets the puck deep and completes the change. More than halfway through this first period, Vancouver leads 1-0 on a beauty of a goal from Daniel Sedin, set up by King and Malik. Morrison, Naslund, Bertuzzi are back on. Slager up the middle, pass is intercepted. Here's Taylor Pyatt. Slager recovered and cut him off. Tried to give the puck to Naslund. Adam Mayer to the net, kicked out by Kluche. Dmitry Kalinin, number 45, kept the puck in. Salo quickly out. Here's a 3-on-2. Naslund with Bertuzzi going to the net. Morrison, the trailer, shoots. Great save by Norrinen, and he hangs on.
And this time Mika Norrinen's on the top of the crease to make the save on a beauty by Mika Norrinen.
Still 1-0 Vancouver on Sportsnet. Welcome back to GM Place, everyone. I'm Jim Houston with John Garrett, Dan Murphy on Rogers Sportsnet Pacific. Vancouver's leading 1-0. Marcus Naslund with a shot. Mika Norrinen with another save. He hasn't had an awful lot of shots, but there have been some excellent chances, and all of the play has been in the Buffalo end of the rink.
Well, you, as a coach, Jim, like these face-offs where it's not necessarily the centerman who wins it. And here's another one where the Canucks won the draw with their wingers. Shove it to the boards. If you know your wingers can dominate, that's all you have to do, and the Canucks have been doing. There's another one.
Just get it over to Bertuzzi, back to the point. They had possession of the puck. Taylor Pyatt Steered outside by Sammy Salo. The centering pass. Zhitnik was right there. Had his stick lifted at the last moment and checked. Here's a wraparound by Pyatt. Adam Maier's in front of the net. Sammy Salo gets the puck and puts it over the glass and out of play. He's had enough of the action around Dan Cloutier.
A couple of giveaways by the Vancouver Canucks in their own zone. A little hesitation, and Alexei Zhitnik jumped up into the play, and you can see they're talking things over. Marcus Naslund. Here's Salo, and they do everything right. Everybody comes back, takes a man. Now here's Todd Bertuzzi. A little hesitation, the giveaway. Good play by Dan Cloutier. Get that paddle down on Taylor Pyatt as he tried to wrap around.
That was a good check on Zhitnik by Yuri Slager to make sure he didn't get a shot. Here's another turnover. Alesh Kotelik as Drury with him in behind the net. Afinoganov is out in front of the goal. As the Sabres start to find their legs here in the first period and play in the Vancouver end, trailing 1-0. Back to the blue line. Delmore, quick shot, just missed the net. Alesh Kotelik, number 12, in for Drury. The puck got by him. Afinoganov and Artem Chubarov go after the puck, and Chubarov comes up with it. He's got Jarkko Ruutu with him and Brad May, and they dump the puck in. May will get to it first. Watched along the boards by Delmore and Henrik Talander. Jarkko Ruutu into the middle. Sopel wanted the puck, but he was checked. Jarkko Ruutu to the inboards. Chubarov is there. Wheels and tried to center and couldn't hit a stick. Jarkko Ruutu again. He'll circle the attacking zone once more. Backhanded the puck in. It's knocked down, and out comes Swedish defenseman Henrik Talander. Gets to center, and with his long reach, keeps the puck away from Ruutu and dumps it in. Buffalo changes on the fly. Brent Sopel up the middle. A tip by Arvidsson to Trevor Linden on the fly. He's with Cook. Linden cuts in front. Scores! Beauty! 2-0 Canucks on a sensational goal by Trevor Linden.
And again, it's the long pass from the defense that sets this goal up for the Vancouver Canucks. Magnus Arvidsson with the little tip pass to Trevor Linden. Linden cuts in and beats Mika Norrinen, and you can see the puck definitely goes in before the net is dislodged through the legs of Norrinen. Cut to the net, use the leg to shield the puck. And boy, Trevor Linden looked like John Beliveau on that play. Used the leg to protect the puck, cut in, and slipped it through Mika Norrinen.
And for Trevor, it could take you back a few years, scoring off the rush, off the wing, cutting to the net. Another pretty goal, and Vancouver has a 2-0 lead. What a nifty tip pass in the neutral zone by Arvidsson, and he got the puck from Sopel and he just redirected it to Linden on the right side.
Good patience by Brent Sopel to wait till Arvidsson came off the board so he could tip that pass.
That's Arvidsson's first point as a Vancouver Canuck, and Brent Sopel gets the second assist, and it's worth another look, isn't it?
Well, Brent Sopel takes his time. Here he is behind the net, takes his time, looks, and waits for Arvidsson to come off the boards. Now he hits him, and Arvidsson, planned play, hits Trevor Linden at full flight, and Campbell just can't cut him off. A good play by Trevor to protect the puck, gets the leg out as Campbell just tried to poke it away, and then he beats Norrinen. 2 goals off the rush already, Jim.
Whew, hard to take. Fun to watch, isn't it, when goals are scored like that? So often in the NHL now, you have to get the puck to the net and bounce it in off someone. Crowd the front of the net to score.
That's it, a scramble where you get a deflection or a rebound goal.
Daniel and Henrik Sedin out with Jason King. And back into the attacking zone. Bounced off the boards and cleared by Alesh Kotelik. And the Canucks on a Sabre change will try and move right back into the attack. Dmitry Kalinin reverses for his partner Alexei Zhitnik. Up the boards to Adam Mayer. And he couldn't control the puck. Matthias Ohlund has it. He and Sopel paired together. Vancouver's making a change, so Ohlund delays while Naslund, Bertuzzi, and Morrison come back on, and the puck goes onto the Sabres bench, so play is stopped.
Need new brakes? Get 20% off parts and labor on premium certified brakes right now at Canadian Tire.
Our next score and win winner, courtesy of Safeway and Kraft Dinner, is France Boulanger of Vancouver, who's won a Minwax wood finishing system. Linden from Arvidsson and Sopel at 12:28. Jay McKee. Seems odd seeing him without Rhett Warner, doesn't it?
It does.
They're an institution together, it seemed, in Buffalo. Two young defensemen who played so well together. Warner went off to Calgary in the Drury deal. Naslund, Morrison, Bertuzzi, Jovanovski, and Malik are on the ice. A shoot-in. Tallender is back for the puck. Naslund's right on it. A shootout. And Jovanovski's back to touch the puck. There'll be another icing call against the Buffalo Sabres. Worth another look. A tip to Linden. He cuts for the net. Vancouver has a 2-0 lead on Sportsnet. Tonight's Chevrolet Hockey Poll brought to you by Chevrolet for all life's roads. This assumes we know who the top 3 scorers are. Who will be the Canucks' 4th leading scorer this season? Log on to sportsnet.ca for your choice.
How about Magnus Arvidsson? Gets hot? No,
You're gonna have to get real hot.
You look at me.
Here's Dan.
This season, the rink will be packed every night, and the Canucks Prime Seat Club is your way to get into the game. Gain access, exclusive seat locations. Your $15 membership includes a $15 voucher at Authentics. For more information, log on to Canucks.com.
Henrik Tallender back for the puck for the Buffalo Sabres, down 2-0. When you play a team like Buffalo that plays such a tight defensive system, this is exactly what you would hope to do. Score early and hope to force their hand, make them open the game up a little and make themselves even more vulnerable. Sometimes it's an awful lot easier to say than do against teams like Minnesota, Buffalo, all of the teams that play a tight checking game.
Especially at home after coming off a 3-game winless streak.
Magnus Arvidsson pushed against the back of the net. Tallender's checked. Arvidsson with Linden out front. Cook works towards the front of the net. Arvidsson decides to hang onto the puck instead of giving it up. Lets Olin come in off the blue line. Matthias Olin. Linden goes to the front of the net, and Olin was stripped of the puck. Drury can't clear it. Brent Sopel passes off. Linden's quick shot is blocked. Again, the Sabres try and clear, and they can't. Arvidsson clogged up the middle. Sopel, one-timer, just missed the net. Magnus Arvidsson as the Canucks have their way with the Sabres here. Linden after the puck, got it away from Tallender. Kotelik steps in, and he flips the puck in the air and gets it down the ice. How many chances do the Sabres have to clear it? Now they're on a change, and Sopel shoots the puck in, and Vancouver completes a change. Ryan Campbell. Demiro Shatan. A bouncing puck stripped of his stick was Jarkko Ruutu. Here's Daniel Briere with Campbell, the defenseman, streaking to the net. Briere, centering pass, tried to hit the trailer, and instead he got Jarkko Ruutu. Joining him is Brad May, busting towards the net. Rory Fitzpatrick takes Ruutu. Chubarov knocked the puck loose. May's shot stopped by Norinen. And after the puck is Miro Shatan. 3.5 minutes to go in the first period, a period owned by the Vancouver Canucks. An offside call.
The Phoenix Coyotes wanted to get a big centerman, so they got Chris Gratton, but they had to give up some goal scoring, and that's Daniel Briere. He is a talented guy, and the Buffalo Sabres, who were one of the worst scoring teams last year in the NHL, need somebody like that, and they hope that he'd find some magic playing with Chris Drury, but it hasn't looked like it yet so far tonight.
Remember late last season, they had J.P. Dumont, Jochen Hecht, and Briere together, and after the trading deadline, it looked like that was going to be a great line, and now Jochen Hecht got hurt, and that really hurts a team that doesn't have much scoring depth. Here's Daniel Sedin with a shot, deflected just wide of the net. Jason King, Henrik Sedin. Cycles in the corner, Daniel leaves for Henrik. Daniel again, almost ran into Henrik, and Taylor Pyatt comes up with the puck. A return pass from Adam Mayer didn't connect, and the Canucks regain possession. Slager from Salo. Another long pass gets through to King, and he throws the puck to an open corner. Zhitnik couldn't clear it. Daniel Sedin to King. Henrik moving in off the right side, and Kalinin got the puck to Adam Mayer, and he tipped it down the ice. And there'll be a battle for the puck, and Kluche comes out to play it, so there's no icing call. Slager was all tied up with Adam Mayer. Here's Todd Bertuzzi against Zhitnik again. Zhitnik trying to steer him to the outside, to the front of the net. Norinen poked the puck. Jovanovski scores! Jovanovski against Mika Norinen, and it's 3-0 Vancouver.
The Sabres have been absolutely atrocious at clearing the puck, and this time it's Mika Norinen who just pokes it right up the middle. And there's no Sabres there. Commenting on how the Sabres collapse in front of the net, and that's one of the dangers. If you collapse in front of the net, the point men are going to be wide open. And the Sabres collapsing in front of the net left Jovanovski wide open, and I think I might have been able to score that one.
Just set it up on a tee
That's
for
right.
him, didn't he? And he drove it 300 yards. That started with Zhitnik being unable to contain Bertuzzi in the corner. There they come again, leading 3-0 with a couple of minutes to go in this period. And back into the Sabres end of the rink once again. Centering pass, Naslund couldn't get his shot through. Bertuzzi again. Spins. And the puck is knocked away by Drury, but Bertuzzi got it back. Naslund, front of the net, didn't get it through to Morrison. Olin was right there. Another turnover. Bertuzzi for Naslund. Couldn't knock the puck into the net. Drury caught him at the last moment. Naslund again. Bertuzzi's in front. Couldn't get the shot away. This is unbelievably one-sided, so much so that Chris Drury just shattered his stick over the crossbar. It's men against boys right now. Ed Jovanovski has made it 3-0 by swiping a free club card. Benilda Eugenio of Vancouver's won VTEC's 5.8 gigahertz digital cordless phone with answering machine courtesy of Safeway and Kraft Dinner.
I shouldn't say I could have scored this one because Ed Jovanovski looks. He takes a peek. Mika Norinen pokes it out. You have to get it by the first guy. Jovanovski looks and then gets it by the crowd and gets it by the goaltender. Now, Chris Drury is so frustrated. And if Lindy Ruff had more time on the clock, I'm sure he'd call a timeout here. But there's only 1:34 left, so he'll save his best for the intermission.
It's one of those garbage can kicking nights.
Oh, I think it might be. Gatorade everywhere.
Dan Kluche holds on. The shots don't tell the entire story. The shots are 8-3 Vancouver, but they could be 15-3, and it could be 5 or 6-0.
And the scoring chances, I would say Buffalo's had one, and that was the Curtis Brown chance that hit the post.
Canucks win the draw, break out off the faceoff. They've done everything right, almost without exception here in the first period. Linden has a man offside. He waits for Cook, carries the puck in. Cook leaves for Arvidsson. He's spun to get the puck back. Matt Cook, Arvidsson goes to the front of the net. The pass just about got to him, and a give-and-go play off the boards. Trevor Linden. Briere's trying to stay with him. J.P. Dumont clears the puck in the last minute of the first period with Vancouver leading 3-0. Sabres on a change, a stretch pass, Malik to Jovanovski, and he dumps the puck in and heads to the bench himself on a change. Big hit by Brad May on Brian Campbell. May goes back after the puck. To the blue line, Sammy Salo just keeps the play alive for Vancouver to Jarkko Ruutu against Campbell. May's in front of the net, fell down, a tip just went wide of the net on the short side. Taylor Pyatt can't clear the puck. Chubarov now works against Curtis Brown. Brad May against the boards. Pinned there by Rory Fitzpatrick for a moment. Ruutu gets the puck to Chubarov. Ruutu runs interference. Artem Chubarov looks up, throws the puck in behind the net. Jarkko Ruutu's there. And again, the fourth line has the puck in a string. Here's Brad May. 9 seconds to go in the period. Pass through the legs of Sammy Salo, and the Canucks clear the zone themselves for the Sabres. As an impressive first period comes to an end, a dominant Canuck team scores 3. Daniel Sedin, Trevor Linden, and Jovanovski got the goals.
The first period is brought to you by General Motors and all its divisions. Visit us at gmcanada.com.
Vancouver Canucks shook off the road dust in an awful hurry. Beautiful goals by Daniel Sedin, Trevor Linden, and Ed Jovanovski's given Vancouver a 3-0 lead at home. Welcome back to General Motors Place in Vancouver, where the Canucks are in complete control of this game against the Buffalo Sabres with a 3-0 lead entering the second period of play, and some highlight reel goals, including a pair off the rush in the first period.
Here's a play by Brent Sopel on the second goal. Up to Magnus Arvidsson, little tip pass to Trevor Linden in full flight. Protects the puck, and in it goes Mika Norinen. Couldn't get his legs in the way of that one. And Ed Jovanovski's goal, the collapsing Sabres. 4 guys in front of the net and the hash marks. Jovanovski could come in right to the hash marks to tee that one up, and continued pressure. You're playing at home. Keep it on. You're ahead. comfortably, just keep the pressure on.
First period summary is brought to you by Moore's Clothing for Men. Well made, well priced, well dressed. 8 different players with shots on goal. 3 players with their first of the season. An old zone time stat might have been 17 minutes in the Buffalo zone in that first period.
That's right.
Partly because of that, there's a new goaltender. I don't think this one is being pinned on Mika Norrinen, but Lindy Ruff has made a change to Marty Biron.
Mika Norrinen had 8 shots on goal. 3 of them went in. He never made the big save when he had to, but he didn't have much help. And the 8 shots doesn't give the Vancouver Canucks justice for their chances, because out of those 8 shots, I'd say 6 were quality scoring chances.
And changing goaltenders in a game like this is another way of shaking things up and sending a message to the skaters on the team that this just isn't good enough.
Marty Biron's last start was Thursday night in Edmonton, a game he allowed 3 goals and an empty netter and lost 4-1.
Canucks Brent Sopel shoots the puck in. Linden, Cook, and Arvidsson go in after it. Dmitry Kalinin. Alesh Kotelik checked by a pinching defenseman Sopel, and the puck squirted outside the line. Olin to Arvidsson, tipped back in. Linden's the forechecker. Kalinen's the first man back, and he reversed for Alexei Zhitnik. And a nice play, so Buffalo has a chance to get out of its own zone. Up on the left wing, defenseman Dmitry Kalinin stood up at the line by Brent Sopel. In to get the puck is Merrick Malik. Another outlet pass, and here's a chance for a 3-on-1. Marcus Naslund, Matt Cook to Naslund, hit the post! Sweet hands, but off the post, or it's 4-0. Naslund again with the puck. Morrison's with him. Brendan Morrison shoots! Biron makes a nice save. Morrison got that away hard and in a hurry.
And threw a screen.
Biron made a nice blocker save on it. Dmitry Kalinin, watched by Marcus Naslund. Jovanovski holds the puck into the line for Todd Bertuzzi. He gets away from Kalinin. Naslund's at the side of the net with him. Spinning against Zhitnik. Bertuzzi reaches out, tried to get the puck to Morrison. Curtis Brown was there. And the play is stopped.
It's amazing that Marcus Naslund could get this puck on net. The pass is right in his feet, and yet he just tips it. And it's off the bar. Break for Marty Biron just into the game. That was his first chance against, and then Brendan Morrison had a good shot, and Martin Biron was able to make the save. Biron's been around forever. He's only 26, but he was Dominik Hasek's backup for a number of years.
Sabres have always been able to find good goaltenders. They've got Biron, they've got Mika Norrinen, they've got Ryan Miller, who's been sent to the minors largely because they could send him to the minors. He didn't have to clear waivers.
Ryan Miller has just torn it up in the American League and in the World Championships. And there's a look at Mika Norrinen. Early shower tonight.
Curtis Brown won the faceoff. Vancouver won 54% of the draws in the first period and all the ones that counted. Sammy Salo flushed out by Brown. Up the boards to Daniel Sedin, a bouncing puck. Henrik can't get it out. Yuri Slager follows up and has the puck. Rink wide off the boards for Jason King out of his reach. Jay McKee turned the puck over under pressure. Daniel Sedin in front for Henrik. A nice play by Tallender to tip the puck away. Daniel again to Henrik. Tallender trying to check him. And it's hard to do against the Sedins along the boards. Daniel shielding the puck with his body. Adam Mayer stripped him of it for a moment. Now can't find the puck. Backhander by Henrik, and he couldn't get a good one away. Adam Mayer checks Henrik Sedin. Jason King comes in for the puck. Working against McKee. Another shift of great pressure for the Vancouver Canucks. Henrik again shields the puck with his body. Tried to cycle back for King, and the play is stopped, and there's a penalty being called here. And it's a slashing call against the Sabres, desperately trying to get the puck back. Henrik Tallender gets the gate.
Well, usually when you're hemmed in your own zone for over a minute, you end up taking a penalty, and Lindy Ruff is looking on. And this is a slashing penalty. Cycling the Sedins, there's the two-handed whack, and the referees in the last 2 weeks have been trying to clamp down on that sort of thing. Tallender off, and the Canucks go on a power play.
Their first power play of the game. And Jovanovski holds the puck in. Quick shot just wide of the net off the stick of Brent Sopel, who's out playing the left point, where Sammy Salo has been in most units or most games on the number 1 unit. Morrison's crunched against the boards. Naslund in for the puck, couldn't get it. Bertuzzi does against Zhitnik. Morrison With the open man, Naslund behind the net. Trying to get away from Dmitry Kalinin. Todd Bertuzzi can't control the puck. Now Naslund does. Bertuzzi. Morrison. Drury and Shatan are the forwards killing the penalty. Here's Todd Bertuzzi. They haven't been able to get the puck to the net. Now he's stripped of the puck, and Shatan starts out shorthanded. Buffalo for years has had very good penalty killing units. Now Shatan stripped of the puck. Here comes Jovanovski. Morrison goes to the net. Jovanovski spins, waits for Naslund to come in, and the puck got away from him outside the line, offside.
Sabres got caught on a change when Miro Shatan tried to carry the puck, and Ed Jovanovski not pleased with himself. Canucks had a 3-on-1. He mishandled it originally at the blue line, then kicked it ahead. I thought he had a chance to shoot, Jim, but looked for the perfect play.
Now, early in the season, this is a bit like a baseball batting average in April. A couple of knocks and you can move up to be a 350 hitter. You get your power play going on a homestand like this, they can be back at 25 or 30% in no time. I thought early in the road trip, John, the power play looked great and didn't score. As the road trip wore on, though, it didn't look as good.
Well, the one that sticks out in my mind was the 5-minute power play in the second period in Detroit. The Canucks only had one shot on Dominik Hasek. Detroit handled that one very easily at a critical time in that game.
There's Sammy Salo in with this second power play unit. Matthias Olin is with him. King and the Sedins. They scored a power play goal in St. Paul. Here's Matthias Olin. The crowd forms in front of the net. Daniel Sedin off the wing, looking through a screen. Salo snuck in off the left point. Henrik to Daniel. King is screening. There's the shot. Tipped. Biro can't find it. Salo scores. The Sedins are the cure for the power play woes. It's 4-0 Vancouver on the goal by Sammy Salo.
Well, good rotation by the Canucks as Daniel Sedin goes to the point. Sammy Salo comes in, and Jason King takes the punishment in front of the net. And if you want to be on the power play, you have to stand in front of the net. Jason King does, takes the whack, and Salo has the wide open net.
Salo's the fourth player tonight to get his first goal of the season. And Vancouver has a commanding 4-0 lead. Their power play is 1-for-1.
I hope Jason King touched that shot and gets an assist.
I think he did.
I hope he does, because he took the beating to create that goal.
I think he's the reason that Biron couldn't get a hold of it. Vancouver has picked up where they left off in the first period, playing almost exclusively in the Buffalo end of the rink. Nope, they don't give King an assist. Salo from Sedin and Sedin. Daniel and Henrik both get assists on the first of the season for Sammy Salo at 4:08 on the power play, and Vancouver leads 4-0 5 minutes into the second period. And still Dan Cloutier has faced but 3 shots in the game and 1 scoring chance. Daniel Briere, JP Dumont's in front of the net. Alex Kotelik with them on this forward line. Shitnik holds the puck in at the blue line. Brad May chips it off the boards and out to Matt Cook, one man back. Cook's on his own here. His mate's going to change. Kalinin tries to take the man, couldn't get him. Cook again, elusive, got away from a check, and then the puck was cleared. He was on his own, he almost did it alone. Finneganov after Olin, who touched the puck first. And there's an icing call against the Buffalo Sabres. Sammy Salo has his first of the season, and William Smith of Port Moody swiped a free club card, and on behalf of Safeway and Kraft Dinner has won a Karcher pressure washer.
Here's Jason King in front of the net. The shot comes right through. He didn't, obviously they don't think he touched it on the way through, but Marty Biron didn't see the original shot because Jason King was standing there. And you'd think Sammy Salo, his goal would have been more like Ed Jovanovski's goal in the first period, a rocket from the hash marks, but there he is on the backhand, chipping it into the empty net.
So the way they play that power play, there's another tip, and Biron makes a nice save. So Vancouver wins another faceoff. Bringing that defenseman in off the blue line pays dividends there. Sopel with a shot, another save by Biron. Matt Cook, Magnus Arvidsson, Trevor Linden keep putting the pressure on here. Linden lets the puck go, nice play. Olin shoots, and that's blocked. And the puck comes out, and here's a chance for Kotelik. Racing with him, Finneganov heads for the net. In fact, he's racing with him all right, just ahead of him offside. Here's Dan Murphy.
I'd like to let you know that tonight's game is brought to you by this week's featured Safeway participating product, Kraft Dinner. Gotta be KD. one of John's favorites.
Lindy Ruff was complaining this morning about the lack of scoring in the NHL, and it's pretty tough to score when you're going offside on a 2-on-1 rush and you only have 3 shots on goal for the first 25 minutes.
Pretty much sums up the Sabres' night so far, doesn't it? You get a chance on the rush and they're offside. 6 minutes into the second. 4-0 Vancouver. Andy Delmore. Taylor Pyatt's after the puck. Puck's cleared away from him, and out comes Todd Bertuzzi with Morrison and Naslin. Bertuzzi just pushed Curtis Brown down, and there's going to be a Vancouver penalty here against Todd Bertuzzi. So Buffalo's going to get a power play. Biron comes out for the extra attacker. The Sabres get the puck deep into the Vancouver zone, and Bertuzzi whacks the puck knowing that he's headed to the penalty box. The Buffalo Sabres go to a power play, trailing 4-0 on Rogers Sportsnet Pacific.
Todd Bertuzzi from behind, the little push, and he goes off. Cross-checking penalty, they called it. Not much of a cross-check, more of a push. But if it was 0-0, Jim, I don't think that one would have been called.
And Buffalo is on its second power play, having been outshot 12-3. And without a shot here in the second period. Drury and Linden on the face-off, and Linden with a good second effort gets possession and clears the puck. Biron off the boards, right to Trevor Linden, then he was stripped to the puck, and out comes Daniel Briere to Drury. With Shatan, checked and coughed up the puck, and the power play retreats to regroup at center. Andy Delmore and Briere are the point men on the power play. Drury, Dumont, and Shatan up front. A hard shoot into the left wing. The Sabres go after it, and the puck bounced away from them. Olin couldn't clear it, hit a shin guard. Miro Shatan. Dumont with Drury in front of the net. Shatan outside the 4-man box, looks across the ice. Delmore sneaking in. Briere finds him along the boards. Not in a very good shooting position here. Delmore. Head up, passes off to Dumont. Shatan, quick shot, came out the other side. Delmore now. Leaves the puck for Drury and heads to the blue line. A centering pass. Shatan's backhander. Cloutier stopped that. Linden clears the puck around to the boards. Delmore holds the line. Drury tried to feed Briere, and the puck was rolling and comes outside the line with 40 seconds to go in the Bertuzzi penalty. Delmore almost had Morrison get away from him there. Miro Shatan got away from Matt Cook into the attacking zone. Gets some help now from Daniel Briere. Sammy Salo wheeled the puck in, then gave it away to Briere. Alex Kotelik shoots, hit the side of the net. Bouncing puck, knocked off the other side of the net. Curtis Brown. Into the middle, takes a shot. Cloutier save, kicked out right to Curtis Brown. 8 seconds to go in the power play. Brown with Kotelik in front. Fakes the shot, passes off to Shatan to Kotelik. Great save by Cloutier. And out come the Canucks 2-on-1. 3-on-1 as Bertuzzi joins in. Here's Bertuzzi to Morrison, and Zhitnik broke up the play, and he had help getting back, and the Sabres come back the other way. Alexei Zhitnik into the middle. Taylor Pyatt, backhander. Cloutier stopped that. To the blue line. Kalinin holds the line, shoots, that hit Jovanovski in front of the net. And the Sabres are alive in the game. Buoyed by their power play that gave them a couple of chances, but here's a 2-on-1. Bertuzzi and Morrison. Bertuzzi, bouncing puck knocked out of the air, and the puck comes to Jovanovski. Shoots! Biron stops that. Bouncing puck behind the net. The play is stopped. And I believe there'll be a Buffalo penalty here.
Dan Cloutier, his best saves of the night on this Buffalo power play. Miro Shatan, that's not such a great save because Shatan took so long. But he reacts with his leg on this one, dives over, and then the play right after that. Here at the other end is Marty Biron looking through traffic. Brad Mays there. And the Vancouver Canucks go on the power play.
Curtis Brown gets the penalty. It's going to be tough for a goaltender when you've been standing and watching for as long as Cloutier has, all of a sudden to have a flurry.
And then to be so solid positionally. He made the leg save that I thought was his best one that we didn't see. There's the quick face-off, Jim. The Canucks had not even lined up yet, and the puck's dropped and Buffalo clears it.
Here's Adam Mayer after the puck. Sopel had him lined up. Naslin to Bertuzzi to Morrison. Boy, this big line is getting some great opportunities and just not quite clicking.
They could have had 2 or 3 by now. The shots have hit people in front. Canucks took a little long to make the change. Here's the quick face-off. Brad Lazarewicz, I don't care. Your time was up. Puck's dropped and down it goes.
Vancouver's power play 1-for-1. Sopel and Jovanovski. So one change in this first unit power play as Sopel has taken Sammy Salo's spot. Morrison, Bertuzzi, Naslund up front. And the puck is cleared down the ice as we reach the midway mark of the second period. 13-7 of the shots for Vancouver, 4-0 is the score. Jovanovski. Henrik Sedin to Jovanovski under pressure. Here's Henrik off the boards. Bertuzzi's in front of the net. Marcus Naslund still on the ice. Jay McKee fought the puck to Adam Mayer, and he cleared it down the ice. 50 seconds to go, and the man advantage in the power play completes the change as Sopel gets back and moves the puck quickly to Henrik Sedin. Daniel through the middle, in on a breakaway. Stopped by Biron. Pretty passing, pretty save.
And again, that long lead pass setting up that breakaway.
Henrik with King parked in front of the net. Sammy Salo moves into the middle of the ice, passes off. Olin in front, King scores! Tic-tac-toe, 5-0 Vancouver.
That's the one thing when you're ahead of a team and ahead lopsided. You just don't want to get into any bad habits. You're not trying to rub it in. But here's the Vancouver Canucks. Make sure the power play works. It's been struggling and beautiful passing. Jason King, who took the pounding on the last goal, didn't get an assist, is standing in front again. Perfect position. And Matthias Olin feeds him. Stick to stick, tape to tape. No chance for Marty Biron.
Looked just like his first goal. He doesn't miss on those one-timers for 2 feet. He pounded it into the back of the net. And again, the Canucks bringing that defenseman off the left side down to the net and leaving one defenseman back in the blue line pays dividends on the power play.
And you can see Buffalo reacted to Matthias Olin because that's where Salo scored from, and they left Jason King all by himself.
King from Olin and Salo at 10:40. Vancouver's power play is 2 for 2, and they lead 5-0. Great passing, and there have been some pretty goals in this game.
It's going to be tough to pick the stars tonight, Jim. You know how I like to do that.
Still a period and a half to choose them. Chris Taylor back here for Buffalo. He had a chance in front with Rory Fitzpatrick. Andrew Peters got a makeshift line here playing up front, a defenseman and a little used tough guy, number 76, Peters. Here's a night where he won't find anybody to tangle with. He just pushed Brad May in hopes of enticing him into a scrap, but at 5-0, you think there'll be any takers?
I don't think so, and obviously that's what Lindy Ruff is trying to do, trying to get some emotion out of his club, but it's not going to happen.
Sabres started this road trip with a win, a loss, and then a win in Calgary. They had but 9 wins on the road all of last season. And have found this a very inhospitable road place to be. Afinoganov with a shot and a good quick save there by Dan Cloutier, who kicked out his left leg. Henrik Tallender under pressure from Magnus Arvidsson. Wraps him up. Cook comes in support. Kicks the puck loose for Arvidsson. Linden's out front. The centering pass knocked away, but right to Jovanovski. To Trevor Linden. He's poke checked. And the puck was cleared by Chris Drury out to center. Jovanovski, another stretch pass, hit Naslund in the skates, and that play is stopped offside. Vancouver in complete control, up 5-0.
The second period is brought to you by the Home Depot. You can do it. We can help.
When Dan Cloutier's on his game, there's very little movement. Look at that, down, up, solid, the feet are steady, perfect position. Made that save look easy.
Now, if you just got home from work and you sat down to watch this game and saw that it was 5-0, would you believe me if I told you that nobody in the big line has a point?
No.
Here's Brendan Morrison trying to remedy that, and he darn near did, but Marty Biron turned him back on a deflection. Smith of Surrey entered Score and Win and has won a Kodak Easy Share digital camera and dock courtesy of Safeway and Kraft Dinner. Congratulations, Gene. Off the draw, Salo to Naslund. Big crowd in front. Slager to Morrison. Scores! Big Line has points now. 6-0 Vancouver.
Jim, we were talking about it in the first period, the number of wing face-off wins for the Vancouver Canucks. Here it is again. Scramble the face-off to the winger and then create the win, bang, bang, and there's Brendan Morrison in front of Marty Biron. Sammy Salo into Marcus Naslund. Brendan Morrison goes to the front of the net. The Sabres defensively are just awful, and in it goes.
This is a rarity in today's National Hockey League. A rout like this. Brendan Morrison has his second of the season at 12:57 of the second period. Still lots of time left in this. A nifty play by Yuri Slager coming in off the left point, and Marcus Naslund gets the second assist. From the blue line, Slager again. Salo with a shot. A hard one that missed the net and sends the Canucks back to center to regroup. The Sedins and Jason King, who have been the igniters on the power play, are out on the ice. And there's an icing call against the Vancouver Canucks. More prizes to give away as we break the bank. On behalf of Safeway and Kraft Dinner, Linda Walkley of Chilliwack has won a wireless wave cell phone and Fido airtime package. Congratulations.
Brendan Morrison, no chance for Marty Biron. It gets frustrating for the goalie when you think your team has quit. And you can see Biron on the last play before that, before the goal, slide it to the middle in frustration, and then that one went in. And he's the relief goaltender. Do you switch back, go to the other guy?
The other guy's not feeling bad, he's feeling fortunate. Another tip on goal, and Biron hangs on. Dan Murphy.
The rink's going to be packed every night this season, and your way to get in is the Canucks Prime Seat Club. Gain access to exclusive seat locations. $15 membership includes a $15 voucher at Authentics. Please log on to Canucks.com.
Well, it hasn't been a truly competitive game, but the fans are here tonight to see the home team, and they've seen some pretty nice scoring plays. And Vancouver has a 6-0 lead. Andrew Peters, St. Catharines native. He was about 6'4", 250 on the ice, wearing number 76. Here's Sammy Salo with Ruutu, May, and Chubarov. Puts a shot on net. Andy Delmore is back. He's bumped by Ruutu as he got the puck up the boards and out to center.
Buffalo's got their line out again, trying to create some excitement, trying to get something going emotionally.
And you can hear that there isn't much of that anywhere in this building right now. Home side has had their way with the Buffalo Sabres. Here's Matt Cook with Magnus Arvidsson. The headman pass skipped by him. Arvidsson taken into the boards by Alexei Zhitnik. Trevor Linden in for the puck. Cook is open in front. Linden back to the blue line. Jovanovski's shot kicked out by Biron. Arvidsson couldn't tip it. Zhitnik trying to clear the puck. He does get it around to Miro Shatan, and out he starts. He's got Daniel Briere with him. The shoot in for Briere to go after Jovanovski. He gets back and tips the puck to Magnus Arvidsson. Up the boards, Kalinin steps in and gets the puck. Shatan, Briere's in front. In comes J.P. Dumont. The shot ricocheted off legs to the point. Zhitnik puts one on net. Tipped right on, and Kuche made a nice save. And Cook got the puck to Arvidsson, and Vancouver gets out. And the Canucks want to change on the fly here. Zhitnik trying to take advantage to Kalinin. Stepping up to hit him is Jovanovski. Good solid body check. Dumont centering pass. Caused no problems in front of the net. Marcus Naslund on the ice, cleared the puck down the ice. Tallender has Morrison making him move his legs, and there's an icing call against Vancouver. Jovo used to be good for one of these a game. Harder to get for him, but he had a good lick there on Kalinin.
You're down 6-0. You've got a 2-on-2, Shatan and Briere, and what do? You're looking for some enthusiasm. You're looking for some leadership. Oh, you just chip it off the boards and leave it there. That's the way it's going for Buffalo in that one. I don't like that. Why not try and carry it? Create something. You're the one talented guy, the highest paid guy on the team by far, and you're a shooting guy.
It's a road non-televised game in Buffalo. Maybe that's it. Dan Kuche makes a save, and he hangs on to the shot that came from Adam Mayer.
And I think that's one of the reasons that Buffalo will be able to, somewhere along the line, really use Chris Drury, because on this team, since Mike Pekka left, they really have been lacking some leadership. And now Chris Drury is the kind of guy, and once he feels more comfortable with this team, he's going to become the leader. Miro Shatan is a talented guy, but he is just not the kind of guy who is your captain and your leader. Here's Curtis Brown and here is Slager. A little pushing and shoving, nothing happening.
There's the new captain of the Sabres, Miro Shatan. Drury won the faceoff. A Finnegan off to the boards, and the puck is shot wide. Drury again. A Finnegan off in front of the net. Kotelik is there as well. Sopel gets a hold of the puck and clears it just out of the reach of Jason King. Chris Drury stripped to the puck. King out of the reach of Daniel Sedin. Andy Delmore's tugged back. Sopel. Henrik. King. Daniels offside. They'll turn back. Now he moves in onside. Tripped up, and there's going to be a Buffalo penalty. A hooking call, and will put Vancouver on the power play here with a 6-0 lead, and a power play that's 2 for 2 so far. So nothing else. They can work on ironing out the kinks for the first power play unit.
Well, the Sabres get trapped, and here's Kotelik. He knows he's standing still. Daniel Sedin with a 2-on-1 chance. So he hauls him down and takes the hooking penalty. I'm sure Mark Crawford's going to use some different combinations here now with the 6-0 lead.
Indeed he does. Trevor Linden, Magnus Arvidsson, and Matt Cook come out on the power play with Sopel and Olin. It's a time in a game where a coach can choose to take the foot off the gas pedal. He can reward some players who don't usually play on the power play with some time and the man advantage here.
There's so few games like this during the season.
Oh, they're usually 2-1 nail biters, aren't they? Just about every game is decided by 1 or 2 goals. Brent Sopel, Matthias Olin, cross ice from Linden, and he fanned on it, trying to feed the puck to Magnus Arvidsson. And now that power play unit will change up with 1 minute and 15 seconds to go in the man advantage. And Mark Crawford sends out Jarkko Ruutu as he just rolls his lines, and Brad May and Artem Chubarov for some power play time. Chris Taylor clears the puck down the ice. And here's where the coach finds out too if the fourth liners were listening and watching when they did the power play breakouts.
Yes.
Ed Jovanovski back to retrieve the puck. Under 2 minutes to play in the second period. 3-0 Vancouver in after the first, and they added 3 here in the second. Malik Chubarov hangs on, centering. Kalinin cleared the puck away. Dmitry Kalinin to center and a shoot in from Miro Shatan. He's checked by Malik. Brad May's back for the puck with 20 seconds to go, in the penalty to Kotelik. May with some nifty head fakes through the neutral zone, and he dumps the puck in. Jarkko Ruutu. Chubarov slapped at the puck and couldn't get it. 5 seconds to go in the Kotelik penalty. Kalinin against Slager, and he dumps the puck in and heads off in a change. Marcus Naslund has come on with Bertuzzi and Morrison. As the teams get back to 5-on-5, here's the Vancouver captain in the neutral zone. Got away from Kotelik, tries to get away from Tallender, tries to feed Morrison. Bertuzzi gets the puck. Fakes, takes, Biro on the save. Rebound is loose, Naslund couldn't get it. Morrison knocked the puck to the end boards. And Bertuzzi's centering pass is gobbled up. Dumont, checked by Slager. Jay McKee checked Marcus Naslund, and Henrik Tallender gets the puck and shoots it in with half a minute to go in the period. A Finnegan off onto the puck. To the net, steered away by Dan Kuche. Brian Campbell kept the puck in. Sopel jumps to it and moves out to Marcus Naslund for Bertuzzi. Pass was just behind him. All he can do is dump it in with 20 seconds to go in the period. Campbell's checked at center. Jason King with Henrik and Daniel Sedin turned back at the blue line. Taylor Pyatt. Danielle Briere to the net. A blocker saved by Kluche steered the puck over to the boards. Here's Brian Campbell as the period comes to an end. And through two, the Vancouver Canucks have outshot the Sabres 20-10 and lead Buffalo 6-0.
And a real statement for home ice advantage. The Vancouver Canucks came out in the first period and dominated, continued in the second period. Now, you don't want to get into any bad habits. You've got 3 more games on this homestand. No bad habits. You feel sorry for Buffalo, but not really, because they have not given much of an effort.
All that's left, it seems, just to wrap it up and put a bow on it.
The second period is brought to you by the Home Depot. You can do it. We can help.
Sammy Salo, Jason King, Brendan Morrison all scored in the second period. Coming up in our intermission, a greatest hits feature as our show continues from Vancouver. Vancouver Canucks return to their home ice at General Motors Place for the third period of this game, leading 6-0 over the Buffalo Sabres. And just to prove that he was in the game, Dan Kluche did have to make some saves in the second period.
And he's been so good positioning, never giving up. There's a desperation move. But just good, solid, feet steady, facing the shooter. Get those knees down in the butterfly, get over, knees down in the butterfly. Good positioning again on Miro Shatan. And then this play, and Canucks had a lot of plays like that, passing the puck at will and scoring at will.
So here's the scoop on the stats, brought to you by Cal Tire, celebrating 50 years of Snow-How. 4 different players have their first goal of the season. Magnus Arvidsson has his first Vancouver point. 13 different players have points in the game. And Vancouver is now 2 for 3 on the power play. And John, just to show you at this time of the season how a power play can change, they go from 10% to 16% with a pair of power play goals tonight, and all of a sudden there's no panic.
That's right. Now they're in the middle of the pack again.
Well, Mike Johnson was very complimentary about Marek Malik, Jovanovski, and this defensive core and the way they passed the puck, and rightly so. There have been some brilliant passes tonight. So many of the plays have started with their defense, not necessarily in on the rush tonight, but starting with great passes.
Lots of time to make those passes.
Henrik got a stick in the face, and there'll be a Buffalo penalty, and Henrik Sedin might get some more power play time. He and Daniel and Jason King have been the best group in the power play this evening.
And usually when you draw the penalty, you get to stay out, although with the 6-0 score, you would think Mark Crawford is going to change it up a little bit.
Roll his lines.
Here's the high stick right under the visor of Henrik Sedin. And Alexei Zhitnik goes off.
Two-minute penalty.
I'm sure Lindy Ruff wants his team to be more aggressive, but not a cheap little high-sticking penalty like that.
Power plays 2 for 3. Chubarov, May, and Ruutu get some more power play time.
I hope people are still watching, Jim, because my voice feeling a lot better here in the third period.
It's amazing you've come around here.
Yes.
He's improving.
Yes.
This is
It's that
interesting, you
allergy.
know. This is interesting that the referee has gone over and changed. Are they going to change the penalty call? Yes.
Yes, they are.
They
Double
went back.
minor now.
Mike Bernstein was looking at Henrik Sedin. The referee went over and realized on second look that he's cut, and Lindy Ruff is steamed about that. He's suggesting that the Vancouver bench just got that penalty increased, that he made his decision too late, that he made his decision and then changed his mind. And that's basically what he did. So it's 4 minutes on the power play. Olin to the net. Biron makes the save, and he hangs on for a faceoff.
And here's Brad May out on the power play, along with Jarkko Ruutu and Artem Chubarov. Mike Johnson talking to Dan Murphy about guys getting extra ice time and getting situations they don't normally get. Well, here's a line.
Canucks win the draw. Olin and Sopel on the points in the power play. Artem Chubarov. May screening in front of the net, working there against Tallender. Chubarov to Ruutu. McKee comes over to check here. Chubarov, nice play. Olin shoots, blocked in front of the net, and the puck is still loose, tied up in the equipment of Henrik Tallender.
And again, traffic in front. Brad May doing his job, going to the net. Tallender finds the puck. Chbarov to Olin, the long wrist shot. And Tallender's there. Doesn't know where it is, but finally realizes he's got it.
Canucks win another faceoff. Brent Sopel. Matthias Olin. Crowd forms in front. Sopel's shot hit a stick and bounced wide of the net. And Sopel will chase the puck to regroup in his own zone. Matthias Olin, Ruutu's in front of him. To the inboards, Brad May. Chubarov, Sopel, just about missed. Chubarov to Sopel, takes the shot, blocked in front of the net, rebound, nice save by Biron. Chubarov didn't look like he could see it, but he made the save with his right leg, and the power play changes up. 2 minutes and 50 seconds to go in a man advantage, with Zhitnik off 4 minutes for high sticking. Arvidsson with a shoot-in. Magnus Arvidsson tried to hit the open net and he couldn't, with Biron caught out. Didn't hit the open net, looking for his first as a Vancouver Canuck. Arvidsson now hit the skates of the referee. And the puck is cleared by Tallender outside the blue line, taking over as J.P. Dumont. He's 1 on 3 here. Fired a shot that went up into the netting off Dan Kuche.
Magnus Arvidsson didn't have a very good angle at that, but Marty Biron came out to the corner to play it. Trevor Linden's in on him in a hurry. And Arvidsson gets this. It's Matt Cook that throws it to Arvidsson. The puck's rolling. He just tried to one-time it before Biron got back in and missed the net. Matt Cook, the nice little play to Arvidsson, but it's rolling a little bit. And he just misses the open net.
He's in to take a faceoff right now, and Briere beats him. Fitzpatrick takes a shot that went wide of the net. Trevor Linden. Merrick Malik. Arvidsson to Linden with Matt Cook. Linden heads for the front of the net, and he's tied up as the puck goes to Biron. Kalinin just tied up Trevor Linden, who is one of many Canucks who's had a strong game tonight.
Kalinin finally took his man and did a good job on Trevor Linden on the give and go. Buffalo has been very shoddy in their defensive coverage, but this time Kalinin does a good job. The stick underneath and won't let Trevor Linden go to the net.
Well, for the first time in this 4-minute power play, the big boys are on the ice, Bertuzzi, Naslund, and Morrison. And you know, John, that they love power play minutes and they want to score. And now they get their chance 2 minutes into a 4-minute power play. Jovanovski to Morrison. Marcus Naslund into the shooting area. Missed the net. Bertuzzi, Morrison, Jovanovski. Passes off to Brendan Morrison. In comes Yuri Slager. The centering pass knocked away almost right to Morrison, and recovering is Miro Shatan to clear the puck. Jovanovski wants Kluche to move it to him quickly, and he does. Up the middle to Marcus Naslund. In with Morrison and Bertuzzi. And the play goes offside. I think Marcus stick handled over and back at the blue line.
Fans don't like it. Brad Lazarowicz right on the line. And Todd Bertuzzi doesn't complain because I think he was the one right in front of Brad Lazarowicz who went offside.
They're not mad about the offside. They're mad that the whistle went and they don't get to stay out on the power play.
They have to go off.
The Sedins and Jason King out on the power play now. Henrik Sedin lost the puck in his skates. 50 seconds to go in the Zhitnik double minor.
Not much urgency on this power play.
No. Chris Taylor, J.P. Dumont, checked, and Matthias Olin comes up with the puck. To Jason King. I think it's safe to say the King clan in Corner Brook has gone to bed comfortably tonight, knowing that Jason and company have this one locked up. There's going to be a penalty to King.
Holding the stick penalty. King on Kalinin in the corner, and Kalinin gets the stick on Jason King, reaches around, holds, and then King's got that left hand on Kalinin's stick and ends up with the penalty.
With 22 seconds left in the Zhitnik penalty, Vancouver goes to 2 for 5 on the power play tonight. And in 20 seconds, the Buffalo Sabres will get a man advantage of about 1 minute and 40 seconds in duration. Right now it's 4-on-4 for a dozen more seconds. Brian Campbell weaves into the attacking zone. Poke check. Chubarov got the puck to Ruutu. Here comes Biron. He made his decision and he made a good play. No hesitation. He barreled out and beat Ruutu to the puck. Now Buffalo has a man advantage for 1.5 minutes. Curtis Brown up the middle gave the puck away. A bouncing puck went to Jarkko Ruutu and he clears it right on Marty Biron. He moves it ahead on a Vancouver change. Curtis Brown. Campbell dumps the puck in. Alesh Kotelik with Taylor Pyatt and Curtis Brown out on this power play. Delmore and Campbell, the point men. Puck goes through to Delmore, takes the shot. Kluche makes the save. Big rebound to Campbell, and he gave the puck away to Magnus Arvidsson. Slowly to center, he shoots the puck into the penalty killer's change up. 50 seconds to go in the Vancouver penalty to King. Brian Campbell has the puck. Danielle Briere with the shoot hit. First man back, Merrick Malik. Shovels the puck to Jovanovski up the board. Zhitnik pinched down on Brendan Morrison. And Morrison knocked the puck away from him. Shatan was there in support and keeps it in for Buffalo. Miro Shatan. Alexei Zhitnik. Danielle Briere with the puck. Little give and go with Dumont. Back to the front of the net. Briere couldn't get it. Zhitnik takes a drive just wide of the net. In comes Rory Fitzpatrick for J.P. Dumont. Briere in front. Centering pass. Can't get the shot away. And the play is stopped here, and Vancouver will be penalized with 16 seconds to go in the Jason King penalty. A slashing call against Matt Cook. And there'll be a 5-on-3 for Buffalo for 16 seconds.
And the Buffalo power play was actually throwing the puck around pretty well, although Zhitnik had the one good scoring chance and missed the net. Here's Matt Cook with the little chop on Rory Fitzpatrick, and that's called by the referee out at the red line.
Sabres get the draw. Quick shot by Delmore, and he's stopped by Dan Kluche. Less than 10 seconds to go in the 5-on-3. Danielle Briere, Drury's in the slot, takes the pass, takes the shot, deflected off the post. Briere to Delmore, one penalty's over. King skating back into the play, and he checks Drury. Delmore trying to get away from Jason King. Into Briere, he's checked by Jovanovski. And Jason King gets to the puck and clears it down the ice. Drury back to Miro Shatan. In on a 5-on-4 power play. Drury's back at the point. Shatan shoots and scores. Hard shot by Miro Shatan. And it's a power play goal for the Sabres, and 6-1 is the score.
And Merrick Malik was lined up with Miro Shatan, and I think Malik thought he had it. Dan Kluche doesn't see it at all. Malik closes the legs, and that might even hit Merrick Malik's stick on the way through. Kluche doesn't see it, and in it goes.
Miroslav Shatan has his third goal of the season on the power play at 6:25 of the third period, and there'll be no shutout tonight. Chris Drury and Marty Biron get assists on the play. And Vancouver goes back to the attack here. Giddy Slager in the neutral zone, regrouping to Salo. Quick pass to Jason King, in with the Sedins. Henrik to Jason King. He's checked by Delmore. And the Canucks got possession with Sopel holding the line. Daniel slaps the puck to Henrik. Taylor takes him out, but King comes to take the puck. Henrik to Daniel. Brian Campbell steps in. Can't quite move the puck out of his own zone. He hit his own man in the back of the leg. And Vancouver keeps the puck in. Bertuzzi, Slager, Bertuzzi into his skates. He couldn't finish. Oh, that was going to be pretty.
And Marty Biron looks like he might be hurt. Chris Taylor came back, ran into his own goalie.
Bertuzzi and Slager. And Slager unselfishly tried to set up Bertuzzi, just missed.
Bad thing about pulling the goalie, well, who do you play on Wednesday? And the Sabres continue this road trip, go to Los Angeles on Wednesday. You always like to have a hot goalie, or at least one who hasn't been burned the game before, but now both have been burned in this one.
Call for volunteers. There's a shot off the goal post by Curtis Brown. Uncharacteristic of the Buffalo Sabres. They've already had another game in the early part of the season just like this. They got smoked 6-0 by the New York Islanders in their home opener.
And only
got
had
13 shots on goal.
13 shots on goal. They only had 2 in the first period of that game, and the people in Buffalo were booing them in their home opener.
Shut out in their first 2 games. Won't be shut out here tonight, but have been badly outplayed. And Lindy Ruff won't hang this one of the goaltenders. They've been a part of the whole team that's had a problem tonight. Dan.
Yes, Jim. Make sure to watch future Canuck telecasts, and you could win an all-inclusive trip for 2 to Puerto Vallarta. Stay at the Holiday Inn Puerto Vallarta for 7 nights, courtesy of SunQuest Vacations and Holiday Inn Puerto Vallarta. Shop at Safeway and swipe your club card, and you could be our next lucky winner.
Trevor Linden won the faceoff again with the help of a winger. In front of the net, Matt Cook couldn't get a good shot away. Biron stopped him. Had his stick hooked at the last moment. Cook wasn't quite quick enough in getting the shot away. Alexei Zhitnik. Dumont goes for the net. Tied up as he tries to get there by Slager. Sammy Salo's back for the puck. He chopped it ahead to Magnus Arvidsson, trying to get away from Daniel Briere. And he pokes the puck in, and Zhitnik is back. Up the board, Salo fires a shot wide of the net. Slager from the other side to the net. Quick shot by Arvidsson, a nice save by Biron. Linden shot the puck just wide of the net. Matt Cook held from behind. Arvidsson to Linden. Arvidsson again trying to get open. Boy, he's had great chances to get his first as a Canuck tonight, hasn't he?
And they're going to go on the power play here as Buffalo in trouble in their own zone again. Marty Biron with 2 good saves.
And the guys on the fourth line are saying, yeah,
yes,
pumping their fists. It's power play time. Artem Chubarov into the attacking zone with the net empty on a delayed penalty call. Passes back for the blue line, intercepted, and the play is finally stopped. Buffalo penalty coming up.
Need new brakes? Get 20% off parts and labor on premium certified brakes right now at Canadian Tire.
Pay-per-view is back tomorrow. 17 games you won't see anywhere else, all for just $129.95. The Blues are in town on Wednesday. Please call your local digital cable provider.
Daniel Briere hauls down Trevor Linden and takes the penalty. No, it's on the other side. Here's Briere hauling down Matt Cook.
So Briere is off. Vancouver's on the power play. And once again, it's Chubarov, May, and Ruutu out on the power play for Vancouver with Sopel and Olin. Matthias Olin to Brad May. Shoots. Biron stopped that. Chubarov goes to the puck quickly. Shields it from Jay McKee. Jarkko Ruutu. Brent Sopel. Ruutu couldn't get the puck. Jay McKee tries to clear it. Taylor Pyatt along the boards and down the ice, and Vancouver will change up here with 1:10 to go in the penalty to Briere. Sopel with the shoot-in for Henrik Sedin to go after. Marty Biron plays the puck to Jay McKee, takes his time, then slaps the puck down the ice. We've passed the midway mark of the third period with Vancouver leading 6-1. Vancouver went 14-5-3 against Eastern Conference teams last season, and they continue that dominance here tonight. Sammy Salo to Yuri Slager. With the Sedins and Jason King. Slager's centering pass. And Jovanovski, who came on for Salo, had to retrieve it at center. The Daniel Sedin waits for Slager to get onside. Gets the puck back from Henrik. Then returns it. Daniel, one-timer, stopped by Biron. Pretty passing by the Sedins. And Biron stopped their finish. Last 5 seconds of a Vancouver power play. Briere standing set to come back on. Linden lost the puck at the blue line. Briere returns, and the teams are 5-on-5, and Vancouver's 2 for 6 with a man advantage.
There goes their percentage down.
Yeah.
We get the calculator out and we can figure out how they're dropping.
Really, they're 2 for 3 tonight when it counted.
2 for 2 when it counted.
Linden to Arvidsson. How many scoring chances has Magnus Arvidsson had tonight, do you think?
I'd say 4. 4 good ones.
Matthias Olin, Brendan Morrison. Arvidsson's after Tallender. Cleared up the boards, Maxifinaganov to Adam Mayer. Kotelik is with him. Mayer steered to the outside by Olin, into the middle. A bouncing puck is cleared away by Brent Sopel. Todd Bertuzzi. Naslund couldn't get the puck. Tallender back the other way. Morrison to Naslund. Jay McKee stepped up and took his ice away. Henrik Tallender. Adam Mayer. Morrison with a check on Kotelik. Here's Bertuzzi. Slager's up with him. Marcus Naslund shoots. Biron the save. The rebound. Kotelik lifts the puck in the air all the way down to the Vancouver blue line. Salo is back for the puck. To Marcus Naslund. In again, he stops. Feeds the puck into the middle. Taylor Pyatt got it. Salo backed off, and the pass for Dumont slips by him. Salo gets to the puck, icing against Buffalo. 6:53 to go in the game. Vancouver leads the Buffalo Sabres 6-1 on SPAC. Tonight's Chevrolet hockey poll. We ask you to participate for Chevrolet for all life's roads and tell us who you think will be the Canucks' 4th leading scorer, assuming the big line are 1, 2, 3. Answer is 41% for defenseman Ed Jovanovski, and there's astute hockey fans out there.
Yes, they looked at the stat from last year. That's exactly the way it finished. We have the scoring chances at 14-5, and I think that's generous for the Sabres. I don't know whether they've had 5 good scoring chances, and it might be a little light on the Vancouver side too, because I think they might have had more than 14 chances.
Score was 3-0 after the first period, and the shots were 8-3 for Vancouver, and those statistics, folks, were deceiving. It wasn't that close. It's been all Vancouver from the outset. J.P. Dumont now to the net. Malik doesn't have a stick. His was broken and he discarded it. And out come the Canucks. Ruutu got the puck to Brad May. 1-on-1 against Brian Campbell. And Campbell takes the man. May goes after the puck in the corner. Jarkko Ruutu in behind the net against Andy Delmore. Swatting at him to Artem Chubarov. Spins. Slager jumps in. And then he decided to back off defensively. Now he holds the line with a shot wide of the net. 6 minutes to go in the game. Chubarov. Ruutu. His pass into the middle. Drury takes it and out he comes at the end of his shift. Shoots the puck in and hits for the bench and a change. Slager lost control of the puck. Gave it away to Curtis Brown. He couldn't shoot. Henrik Sedin. Here's Sammy Salo. Finds Daniel. He missed the pass, and here's a chance for the Sabres. 2-on-1. Afinoganov with Taylor. Max Afinoganov. Slager takes the man. Kuche poked the puck away. And that ends the play with the score Vancouver 6, Buffalo 1. Back in a moment.
Safeway Score and Win. Jeannie Chang has picked up a skilled tool pack. France Belanger, a Minwax wood finishing system. Benilde Eugenio has won a VTech digital cordless phone and answering machine. William Smith, a Karcher pressure washer. Gene Smith, a Kodak digital camera and dock. And Linda Walkley, a wireless wave cell phone and Fido airtime package.
Daniel Sedin won 2 minutes into the penalty box for tripping. And Buffalo's on the power play. 5th time in the game. Miro Shatan's shot. That was blocked in front of the net. They cleared down the ice. Daniel Sedin for tripping at 14:31. I think he took his man down behind in the rush, trying to keep his man from getting into it.
It would have been a 3-on-1 instead of a 2-on-1.
Olin slaps the puck up the boards. Magnus Arvidsson gets a descent of the penalty killers. Change up 30 seconds into the penalty to Daniel Sedin. Under 5 minutes to play, 3rd period, 6-1 Vancouver. Jovanovski took the puck away from Andy Delmore.
Jim, we did the Detroit game on Thursday night, and that was a great game. That was fun to watch. 2 elite teams And I know you think there's going to be a lot more separation between the elite teams and the also-rans this year. And now we're seeing one of the elite teams against an also-ran. And the entertainment value, I know Canuck fans will like this one, but the entertainment value on that Thursday night game in Detroit was unbelievable.
Didn't even have to qualify that as a good early season game. It was just a flat-out good game. Maxim Afinogenov with a shot off the end of Dan Cloutier's stick. 40 seconds to go in the power play, and the puck is cleared down the ice. Danielle Briere. I think there'll be some more separation just because there are some rosters that are lean because teams aren't sure what the league will look like and what the collective bargaining agreement will be like at the end of this season. So there are some low-budget, lean-looking teams that might be feasted upon by the top teams. Afinogenov, another penalty coming up against Vancouver. Fitzpatrick's shot, loose puck side of the net. Danielle Briere backhanded the puck off the net, got it back. Goaltender's out for the extra attacker, and Vancouver touches the puck with 2 seconds left in Daniel Sedin's penalty, and Buffalo will continue on the power play. Matthias Olin gets the gate.
Interference in front of Dan Cloutier, and Matthias Olin just a little push into the side of the net. Briere stumbles and falls and draws the penalty.
Warming up even as we speak is Don Taylor, who is along with Sportsnet News. We'll have a complete look back on this game, including Dan Murphy's report from the dressing room area. Andy Delmore with a shot off the draw, loose puck in front of the net. And there's going to be a penalty here on Chris Taylor for interfering with the goaltender. And as Daniel Sedin was back on, this will even it up with 4-on-4 hockey in the late going.
Mark Crawford doesn't like this face-off. Now, when you're in the defensive zone, I know the hurry-up face-off the league wants it in a 6-1 game, but watch this. Trevor Linden is standing around. It's a 5-on-3. And look at this. It's dropped. Buffalo has control, and then Taylor takes the penalty running over Dan Cloutier. And look at Mark Crawford. Yeah, what kind is that? The other face-off was the defensive team had the advantage.
Yes.
I can see that. Okay, you're making your point, but they're the defensive team in their own zone, killing a 5-on-3.
However, it's the team leading 6-1.
Yes, that's true.
It was in its defensive zone, down 5-on-3. Right now, it's 4-on-4. See Scotty Bowman on the weekend suggesting that they find a way to get more 4-on-4 hockey in early in the game. So there's more scoring. All the wheels are turning, trying to figure out a way to get more scoring.
Well, I agree. If they called it by the letter of the law and the interference and the holding and the separation you talked about would be even more. And there'd be a lot more 4-on-4 hockey.
Trevor Linden to Yuri Slager. Bumped to the blue line by Taylor Pyatt. I think the coaches would still catch up with it and find a way to shut down 4-on-4 situations.
It would be a lot harder, and even the also-ran teams, you can usually get 4 guys who are an offensive threat.
Here's Sopel on a giveaway, stopped by Biron. A good slap shot from Brent Sopel, and Biron made a blocker save. Marcus Naslund centering for Todd Bertuzzi, who stumbled and fell into Rory Fitzpatrick. Alexei Zhitnik. Naslund from Bertuzzi. Naslund has a point. Morrison has a goal. The only 2 points for Vancouver's top line tonight. And there'll be another Buffalo penalty here with 1:48 seconds to go, and the result not in doubt. Boy, it's going to be a long, quiet plane ride to Los Angeles for the Buffalo Sabres tonight. Let's have a look at our game review, John, brought to you by Kia. Drive more, clear out.
And you talked about the big line not having any points in the first period. The Vancouver Canucks did spread it around. Great passing from the defense, who had lots of time to make those passes. Mikko Norrinen led in 3 of the first 8 shots that he faced, and Marty Biron, not much better luck in the second period.
Right from the opening shift of the game, with Trevor Linden, Matt Cook, and Magnus Arvidsson taking it to the Buffalo Sabres, the Canucks had complete control of the game. A 5-on-3 for Vancouver with 1:28 seconds to go. Jovanovski in front of the net. Brad May out on this 5-on-3 power play. Taylor's back on. It's a 5-on-4 now. likely to finish the game. Matt Cook. Jovanovski fakes the shot. Passes off to Salo. Big crowd in front. Another Buffalo penalty coming up. No. He had the arm up and then decided to call the penalty with Vancouver holding the puck. Is it Brad May? He's got a face full of Jay McKee right now.
And I think it will be Brad May going off. Brad May doing his Todd Bertuzzi going to the front of the net, but he got the stick up on Jay McKee, and that was the penalty. And you can see Brad May almost apologizing for the high stick. Brad May, a former Buffalo Sabre. Not many people around the Buffalo organization still, Jim, that remember May Day, May Day.
93 playoffs.
93
set
playoffs.
up by Pat LaFontaine.
Pat LaFontaine. And
It's
Brad
a major
May gets
penalty.
Major for the high stick.
Major penalty to Brad May for the stick up in the face of Jay McKee. This is being called a match penalty for intent to injure. Attempt to injure.
I don't get that one. Brad May, it looked like he was trying to hit Jay McKee's shoulders. It was definitely either a cross check or a high stick, but former teammates, I don't think they were. And you could see Brad May almost apologize. Here he comes. He's going for the shoulders, and it gets above the shoulders and catches McKee on the chin.
And then, as we saw earlier, he was almost apologetic right there. Almost apologetic McKee in front of the net. Repentant at what he'd done, but he gets the major penalty, match penalty.
And that's the automatic review by the league.
.50 seconds to go. And that match penalty is the only thing that has come close to tainting this victory that has been so dominant for the Vancouver Canucks. Some of the fans here trying to get a na-na, hey chant going. There's not enough of them left. There's not enough interest in a 6-1 game.
You've already gone out to Maple Ridge to watch your kids play?
Langley.
Oh.
Dozen seconds to go. This has been a real team effort and a great way to come off a road trip in which the Canucks were disappointed at going 0-2-1. Pedal to the metal, start to finish, a dominant performance and a 6-1 victory over the Buffalo Sabres to start a 4-game homestand.
And everything that didn't go well on the road went very well here at home. Vancouver Canucks set the tone early, got goals on their special teams, killed penalties, got great goaltending from Dan Cloutier when he was called upon, and took the issue at home. And I think that's the thing this year. The Vancouver Canucks, who were under 500 in October last year, under 500 at home last year, won one of their first 6 home games, setting the tone. When you come into GM Place, it's a nasty place to play.
Certainly was for the Buffalo Sabres, who didn't seem to be prepared for it tonight. They suffered an onslaught at the hands of the Vancouver Canucks. A great team effort. Vancouver 6, Buffalo 1.
Molson Canadian Canucks Hockey on Sportsnet Pacific. Brought to you by Molson Canadian. It's a Canadian game. And by Subway. Eat fresh.
Molson Canadian Canucks pay-per-view. Exclusive all-access coverage. Over 3 hours commercial-free. A rivalry born of a bitter 7-game playoff series. The St. Louis Blues, October 22nd.
Goes on the right wing. Let's go with the slap shot. Scores!
Don't miss this Western Conference battle. Make your place the place to catch all the Canucks action.
Salo, lots of room. Shoots the bucket. Score! Centers. Malik fakes, shoots, and Morrison scores! Football the right side of the net. Man's looking in front. Scores! Oh, captain, my captain! Now Bertuzzi in front, deep, stop, scores!
Molson Canadian Canucks pay-per-view.
for the Subway play of the game, brought to you by Subway Eat Fresh. Happened in the first period. It was the second goal. Great breakout pass by Brent Sopel. Touch pass by Magnus Arvidsson, sending in Trevor Linden at full speed. Nice little move. Beats the goaltender through the pads. His first of the season, and a beauty that it was. Tonight's Molson 3 stars, brought to you by Molson Canadian. It's a Canadian game. Sammy Salo, a goal and an assist for the Canucks this evening. Great on the blue line. Second star, you just saw him, Trevor Linden, first of the season, on a beautiful rush goal for the Canucks. The first star, Jason King, got his second goal of the season, and a couple helpers for the Vancouver Canucks. So your Molson Cup standings look like this. Jason King tops them with Trevor Linden, both with 10 points, and 8 players share third with 5 points. Well, it was exactly the type of game the Canucks needed to come back home to this evening. They just finished a road trip, no wins in 3 games. They hit the Sabres early, they hit them often. 6 goals in the first 2 periods on 6 different goal scorers en route to a 6-1 win. The big line didn't have to do much, just 2 points this evening as they spread it around. 6-1 the final, stick around. Sportsnet Live coming up next with Jamie Campbell, and we will have post-game reaction from GM Place. Again, the final from Vancouver, 6-1 Canucks over the Sabres.